Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Okay, bit something a bit different. Okay, because I wanted to. This is kind of a follow up to a video I made a week or two ago, because I get a lot of people asking me about starting a boxing channel, and excuse me. You know, I can only give you my experiences and my views. But I would always say, go for it. If you've got something to say, go. You don't have to do what I do, which is be on the screen. You can put some graphics together or whatever. Just do what you want to do, because it's a lot of fun. And 99.9% of the people that I liaise with online and chat to in the comments and all that, great people. We might not agree on everything, but they're decent people. They've got their opinions. I may agree, I may disagree. We have a little chit chat, and I met some fantastic people through YouTube boxing. It's great. But as a little follow-up to that video, I want to point out that you do get the odd person who is very, very strange indeed, all right, and will, for comedy value, they're fantastic, but it really does illustrate that, they walk amongst us. And I had this experience this morning, because I did what I normally do. I get up, I read the comments on my videos, and because it was Joshua versus Dubois, there's a lot of comments. I saw one comment, and it said, you made an entire video about something I said. Are you going to apologize? Well, I've made over 2,100 videos in just under 3 years. And I don't think I've ever, I'm again, 99% certain, I've never made a video about a subscriber. I may have mentioned people in the comments and said, one guy said this, another guy said that, this bloke was talking, or I don't mention names, but I might say someone said that and I thought it was bollocks, or, but so I said to this bloke, I said, who are you? Are you sure you got the right channel? And he came back at me and said, oh yeah, of course, you're pretending not to know me. What a predictable thing to say. And then he signed off by saying, let me get this right. I shall leave you, I'm paraphrasing. He said something like, I shall leave you here, dear heart, like a fucking Shakespearean actor or something. So I said, I probably shouldn't have replied to that ridiculous statement, but I said something along the lines of, look, I've no idea who you are. And I called him a pretentious twat. Which I said pretentious, open brackets, and probably mentally ill, close brackets, twat. And he then using, he went into, block capitals mode. And he said, I'm the one that you said about when I called Joshua Femi, F-E-M-I, which is his name, of course, abbreviation of his name, his real name, his full name. And you made a video about it. Well, first of all, many people call Joshua Femi. Okay. So, maybe he was one of them. And it's possible I made a remark about something he said, which I disagreed with. But he took this to mean that I'd made the entire video about him. And also he said, and by the way, this is the best bit of all, right? Wait a minute. By the way, I'm 5'10". I weigh 255 pounds. And I work out daily. So if you want to meet somewhere, this is what he's saying. If you want to meet somewhere, we can arrange it. And then he said something like, again, he said, farewell, sweetheart, or dear heart, or something. And he even put 2 kisses after it, which is fine, LGBT, LMNP, get on with it, no problem. And I said, so I replied, I said, looks like we got a tough guy here, because we did have. So I said, look, I think I called him a short, because I'm over 6 foot tall. So I thought I'll take the piss here. So I said, look, you short-assed, daft prick or something like that. I'm not hard to find. If you really, really want me to say things to your face, I'm often at small hall shows, which I am. If you see me, come over and I'll give you a personal assessment. I'll call you more than the fucking twat. And then I said, I think you should join the block party. I'm sort of waiting for like 10, 15 minutes thinking, I wonder if he's going to reply. And when he didn't, I blocked him. Now, I kind of regret blocking him. And I can't work out how to unblock people on YouTube. So if you know, let me know. If you where's the button? Where's the fucking menu? I'm not very IT savvy, but but I blocked him, and I regret that because I should think, well, people should be able to. This daft sod's, hanging himself with his own quotes, so I should really leave it on there and let people make their own judgments. So yeah, and I don't know, So anyway, the point I'm making is that they walk amongst us, and if you run a YouTube channel, you will occasionally get this type of person, and perhaps I shouldn't have, called him rude names because he might genuinely be mentally ill and have an issue, and I like to think that I can be quite tolerant of people like that as long as they're not in my face. I was talking to Lee from Inside the Distance about this. We were having a laugh about it, and Lee said there was one guy who said, I'll meet you. I don't know what Lee had said, something about Devin Haney talking about losing to a white guy, or I'm never going to lose to a white. And Lee made a video about race, I think it was, and some guy got into it with Lee. They exchanged unpleasantries, and the guy said, "I'll meet you in a car park." What the fuck is that? Meet you in a car park? I want a straightener with you. Shall we meet in a car park? That way we don't have to get buses or, pay for taxis. You might have to get a train, though, because I'm in a city that's halfway up the fucking country. But if we meet in a car park, we can park there. And then we can have a little straightener, and then off we go. People are strange. Some people are strange. But I had this vision. We were laughing about it. And I had this vision of this guy, who works out every day being one of these fucking, what they call them, incels, is it involuntary celibates, isn't it? Incel, who, spends most of the day on Pornhub, turning up all beefed up on steroids and looking like a condom stuffed with walnuts, and thinking he's tough because he works out. Because obviously, if you work out, obviously you can fight, can't you? I mean, that's the reason, doesn't it? You've got big muscles and, you can fight. I mean, no one who's ever, doesn't look like they work out can, oh, no, they can't fight at all. No, I'm a big, tough man because I go to the gym every day. Fucking hell. Well, I tell you this, I'm 57, fat and fucked, and I wouldn't back off anyone. I mean, even if I take a beat, and I've had a few of them in the past, but even if I get the shit kicked out of me, I'm not backing off. So I don't know. It's like, it kind of reminded me also, like when I've said before the sort of job I do, and if I go back, 20 something years, I started off in this line of work, with vulnerable adults, addicts, and homeless and all that. I started off in homeless hostels, and even now, I mean, homeless hostels, they can be, like, if you're not careful, they'll turn into crack houses. So you have to sort of police them quite strictly. And even now, 20 years later, I get people coming up to me in the street saying, you evicted me from such and such a hostel. Yeah, and you probably deserved it, didn't you? We were probably dealing drugs or some shit like that. We don't want that in a hostel. There's vulnerable people in there. You can take your drugs and fuck off. Yeah, well, you're a cunt. Okay, well, I'm a cunt. Okay, yeah, what are you going to do about it? I'm a cunt, I'm here. What, you want to throw a punch at me? Not one person has ever thrown a punch at me. Not one. Yeah. Little boys pretend to be tough guys. It is kind of embarrassing. I wish I knew how old this guy was, the one I was talking about. I hope he's not an older man, because if he is, that is even more embarrassing. Because sometimes when you're immature, you act like an immature little twat, which I thought this guy was. But maybe, you can imagine if he's like not far off my age, and he's behaving like that. He must have mental health issues. Anyway, all of that aside, this is like a little PS to my previous video. If you start a YouTube channel, you will meet people like this. Ask any YouTuber. You get people like this in the comments. Before the advent of the internet, I used to think, well, thank goodness, people who are dumb or lacking in manners or mental health issues, thank goodness they're a small minority. They're a significant minority. Okay. So if you start a YouTube, that's one of the things you have to deal with. I don't care. I might have done it 25 years ago. I might have, as they say, the young people now, they say, you were triggered, you bit. I probably would have done 25, 30 years ago. 30 years ago maybe, because I was quite a fiery, hot-headed, somewhat immature younger man. It's only as I've got into my later years that I've sort of begun to settle down a bit. But But yeah, watch yourself. Accept that you will meet people like this online. And strangely enough, if you do meet them in person very often, they say nothing. Funny that, isn't it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've shared my morning's amusement with you. A little bit of a strange video, this one, a little bit different, but I wanted to share it with you because it was funny. Anyway, subscribe if you're new, hit the like button. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Love ya. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and bye for now.